Rescue 8, Truck 6, Truck 3, Battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
Hi, this is Division Chief Steve Fessler, and on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, we'll be looking at a few seasonal safety tips. We'll take a look at a new vertical ventilation prop, and we'll be on the scene of a structure fire in the downtown district. That and a lot more on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire.
With the holiday season here, a lot of people are going to be looking to get together with family. One of the ways to cook up a turkey here is with a turkey fryer. Today I'm here with Fire Inspector Kurt Johnson. We're going to go over some safety tips on how to keep you and your family safe if you choose to use one of these turkey fryers. So Kurt, here we got a turkey fryer here. What are some of the safety factors we should be aware of if we are going to use one of these?
Well, one of the biggest safety factors you got to remember is that, as you can see, the pot of oil is actually in the air. So when you're dealing with safety, you have oil that's in the air. You want to make sure that the children and especially the pets are not around it at all. And as far as being near a building, you want to be at least 15 feet away on level ground. And just like we have here, we have the ideal situation here. We have at least 15 feet away from the building. We are on some level ground here. The grass is green and things like that there. That's what you want to be cautious with, is the unevenness of the ground. And then, of course, with your pets, they're going to smell the oil. You're going to be cooking. You want to keep your pets inside at this time. So, and children, you don't want anybody playing around the oil. Keep your children inside if you can, just at a safe distance away. And we want everybody to enjoy the holidays. And by deep fat frying a turkey, it's one of the fastest way to cook it. You cook the turkey at about 3 minutes to a pound, so it could take you up to anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, and you have a nice warm holiday meal at that time.
So now when we're looking at weather factors, does weather play a factor into all this too?
Weather plays a really big factor in it. You really don't want more than a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and as far as rain and moisture in the air, you don't want any water moisture coming down on top of the boiling oil. What happens then is you'll have the water mixes with the oil, causes steam to come up, the vapors, and then you'll have what's called as a flashover. So we just want everybody to be safe when you're dealing with frying a turkey.
Okay, so now let's kind of go over some proper, we got the oil set up here, it's boiling, we're at like 400 degrees. What are the proper preparations to get your turkey ready to be put into the oil?
Well, following all the recommendations that I've seen, manufacturers' recommendations and things like that, you bring the oil to about 400 degrees, not any more than 400 degrees. The main thing with the turkey is you want to make sure that the turkey is thawed out, that it is dry, so you want to get rid of all that excess moisture.
Okay.
But that's the key feature of the turkey when you're putting it in the deep fat fryer, is the fact that it's dry and it's fully thawed.
Okay. Now, how much oil are you supposed to put in there? Do you pre-test it with water?
Well, what you're going to do is you're going to measure the oil by putting the turkey actually in an empty pot, and then you're going to fill the pot with water, and you're going to measure that water that was in the pot once you take the turkey out.
Okay.
So put the turkey in the pot, fill it with water covering the turkey, and then you're going to pull the turkey out and measure the water, and that's how much oil you'll have to add. And normally, roughly about 3 gallons.
Okay. So as you can see here, Kurt's going to be dipping a frozen turkey into this oil. We're at about a little over 400 degrees. And like I said, it is a frozen turkey. So we'll go ahead and put that in the hot oil now.
All right, so once we do put the turkey in the hot oil, what will happen is the moisture will come off the frozen turkey, and the oil will mix with the steam, and the steam will catch the flame and then cause a fireball or flashover effect.
So once again, Kurt, let's just go over some of the key basics of when we're doing this turkey fryer, just kind of a recap of everything.
All right, just to recap it, there is a lot of preparation that goes into frying a turkey in your cooker. One of the key factors is weather. That goes along with it. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with weather, you want to have less than a 10-mile-an-hour wind. And you also want to make sure that there's no precipitation in the air, like it's not raining, sleeting, or snowing and things like that, because you don't want the water to mix with the oil. Now, some of the other real safety precautions you want to have are with the children and your pets. You are having oil here that is at a high temperature. Your pets, you want to make sure that they can't go near it, so they can't spill it. And you don't want any children to get hurt or anything. Children get curious too. They might be around. Always stay with your turkey fryer. We don't want you to leave it unattended at any time. When you're ready to put the turkey in, you have a thawed out bird, you have a dried turkey, and when you put it in, you want to put it in very slowly. But one of the key factors that you have to remember is turn the flame off before you're putting the turkey in the deep fat fryer.
Okay, so turn the flame off.
Yep, the flame will be off when you go to put the turkey in the deep fat fryer. You can relight it once the turkey's in there.
All right. All right, well, thanks, Kurt, for your time, and look forward to having some bird.
All right, thank you.
We're on scene of a structure fire here, and I'm talking with Captain Brian Kringstad about, they were the first unit in, and just want to get a little more information on what'd you see, what all did you do, you know, what happened?
Call came in, we were actually doing some training down at Colville Lake, did some ice training. So I grabbed my crew, we headed on down here, lights and sirens. We got to the corner, we pulled a hydrant, so we grabbed a supply line, addressed the hydrant, supplied water to engine 51.
Yep.
There was fire showing on actually the Bravo and Charlie side of the building.
Okay.
It was already venting out the windows. So
On the second floor of the...
Yep, second floor. It was already coming out the windows. Heavy fire, heavy smoke. So we did what was called a transitional attack.
Okay.
So we hit the fire from the outside with water to knock it down.
Yep.
To basically give us a little more time to get inside, and the conditions should be a little bit better when we
Okay.
make entry at that time. So
you got it from the outside, shot in through the window that it was venting out already?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's what we did. We knocked it down on both windows, got it nice and dark, made entry into the second division. We had reassigned to Division 2,
Okay.
and then made entry up to Division 2.
And what'd you find when you got up on Division 2?
Once we got up to Division 2, heavy smoke immediately, and then once we got inside the fire apartment, it was completely lit up with fire. The
Yep.
kitchen was fully engulfed, orange, so it was hot,
Yep.
smoky. So
Knocked it down from there?
yeah, we got a quick knockdown, knocked it down, the main body of the fire, and then after that it's just finding the hot spots,
Yep.
pulling the ceilings down, pulling the walls down, getting behind things to make sure there's nothing burning
Doing the
yet.
overhaul and
Yep.
for extension?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, you had mentioned Bravo Charlie Corner.
Yep.
What exactly does that mean?
The Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, those are just words we use to indicate what side of the building we're talking about.
Okay.
That way everybody on the fire ground knows exactly where we're talking about.
So we're looking at the front door would be your Alpha.
Yep, typically the address side of the building, the front door is going to be your Alpha side, and then just go around the building, Bravo, Charlie, Delta.
Okay.
So it makes it easier for us to tell people where we're at, where the fire's at, so
Yep.
everybody knows.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
You bet.
One of the tasks with fire prevention is our public education. To help us out today, I brought in Chuck Smith. He's one of the fire investigators with the city to kind of go over some of the school programs that we do offer. Now, Chuck, what grades do we offer here in town?
We teach public education from kindergarten through 5th grade. With those programs, kindergarten, we do a puppet show. 1st grade, we teach kids crawl under smoke. 2nd grade is no two ways out, do a home exit plan. 3rd grade is our fire safety house where the kids learn smoke detectors and learn how to escape their bedroom through a window. 4th grade is hunt for home hazards. They get a little test that they have to go home and do with their parents. And in 5th grade, we do some sort of fire behavior, beginning fire behavior type class.
All right. So now you're telling me you go to kindergarten through 5th grade. Now, is that every school in the Sioux Falls district?
That is every school within the city limits of Sioux Falls. So we do some of Harrisburg schools that are in Sioux Falls also.
All right, Chuck, I noticed that we have some puppets out here today. What are we doing today?
Today we're teaching, doing our puppet show for preschool and daycares during Fire Prevention Week. So we use all our puppets, doing some songs and things like that.
Okay. What are some of the key points that you guys are trying to hit on during the show?
The three main elements we hit on is don't play with matches, find them, go tell a grown-up, that type of thing. The next is stop, drop, and roll if your clothes catch on fire. And the third is bath safety, making sure your bath water is safe. And we partner with Avera, and they come out and help us with the show. and they give us these cool little bath cards that we give out to the kids so they can test their bath water, make sure it's safe before they get in.
Okay, so you're saying all the daycares in town come, and then also the kindergarten classes, you also hit those?
Correct. The daycare is here for the 3 days that we're here. We'll hit over 500 kids for this, and then we got all the schools in Sioux Falls, except for one last year, for teaching the puppet show to the kindergartners.
So using the puppet show instead of video, is that more beneficial to the kids?
I think they really get a lot more out of it with the visual effects and the live performance. They interact with us a little bit, so it's really a great memory tool for them. Speaking with the guys who teach first grade, their first question is always, hey, do you remember the puppet show? And these kids all remember all the characters, the things that they were taught going, a year later. So
okay, and hopefully they're taking that information home with them, passing it on to their parents and their other siblings.
Yep,
so
perfect.
All right, thank you, Chuck.
All right, thanks
for your
Tyler.
time.
So I'm here with Captain Lacey, and we're looking at one of our newest training props that he built. It's our vertical ventilation prop. And Captain Lacey, can you tell me a little bit about it and how it came to be?
Well, we had a call we were on at the Knights Inn where my crew was tasked with ventilation, and it was a tough roof to cut. We had a number of things working against us. We had a metal roof with 1x4s stripped underneath it, 2 layers of shingles, and then the sheeting, and then a rain roof under that. So it was a challenging roof to cut, and it took us quite a while to get it done. And I think it's related to an issue where we don't have the opportunity to get enough hands-on with our saws, with our people, doing actual cutting. So I came up with a design for this, which is a resettable roof prop. The mechanics by Station 7, the mechanic shop, they built the framework on the front for me so we could hinge it up.
Okay.
And then we worked out a way to get it so we can reset it and use it several times. It takes about 20 minutes to get the plywood and the shingles on, and then we can do the cutting on it and reset it for the next crew.
And it's mobile, so we can take it from station to station and utilize it more often rather than having the crews have to leave their territory to go out and train somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And getting acquired structures to cut on is always a challenge. Stuff we can work with, and this is it's on a trailer. You bring it to your station, set it up. All the crews can use it for a week or two, hitch at a time or whatever, and get some good vertical ventilation training in.
So what are the different pieces? I see we got the sloped roof here. We've got a flat roof on the backside. What options do we have with it?
Well, we really have all kinds of options. 2 different pitches. You can do about a 312 or a 712 pitch. And we could set this up however we want. We could put a tin roof over shingles on this just to challenge our people. And on the backside, that is a flat roof prop, which from there we could build any kind of flat roof.
Well, excellent. It sounds like a real world problem came up with a good training solution for us.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, so we're here with Division Chief Jay Titus. He's our Operations Division Chief, and one of the things that we do with when we have structure fires or different types of large events, we do what's called a post-incident analysis, a PIA. And today we're getting ready to go through one of these with the crews that were involved with a structure fire here in Sioux Falls. And Chief Titus, kind of give me a little indication of what PIA all consists of.
Well, basically, we have an independent party, which is your division, that looks at how we respond to the incident and to make sure we're following best practices and see if there's any areas of improvement. And I think the biggest thing that we get out of them is the lessons learned. I've been doing this 29 and a half years, and I can only speak for myself, but I've never ran a perfect incident. So it's always good to have that self-analysis of what can I do better, how can I provide a better service not only to our firefighters and the citizens of Sioux Falls.
So today we're looking at a structure fire that happened locally. Do we do these post-incident analysis on every incident that we go on?
Not everyone. Typically it has to be either very significant or either something went really right or really wrong that we need to just look at what our actions were.
So our typical fires, we usually run those, no issues, and kind of just keep going. But if we have a second alarm type call or anything that escalates, I guess you could say, is when we'll look at doing a PIA for it.
Exactly. And really, any incident that's probably a really high risk, low frequency type of call that we would go on.
So what kind of things are you looking at for those lessons learned? What are some of the things that pop out?
Well, it would be, were the some of the tasks that we did, were they efficient? Were they the right tasks to begin with? Are they efficient? And the biggest thing is, were they safe? And did we have any safety issues? Because as we all know, it doesn't matter whether it's firefighting, urban search and rescue, hazardous materials, any of the incidents we respond to, they're dangerous enough as it is, and we have protocols in place to try to keep our people as safe as we can.
And some of the things are like a near miss, where it's close enough to where there could have been an injury or even worse, but luckily it wasn't that bad. So it's considered a near miss, and that's one of the areas we look at too also.
Exactly. And so here in the city, we have a policy where the city actually tracks near misses themselves. And then there's a national near miss website that you can go to. And that's part of our policy if we have a near miss, is you go to that website, you enter the information in, and then all that information is made available nationally to all fire departments. So hopefully they can learn off some of the stuff that we've done, and we can go to that same website and learn from different things they've done.
Awesome. So really it comes down to being the most effective, most efficient, and as safe as possible.
Correct. Yep. Want to be the best that we can be.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Thank you for watching this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. If you'd like to learn more about Sioux Falls Fire Rescue or have questions, go to siouxfalls.org/fire.